Are you one of the 75% of contractors whose financial statements are inaccurate? Find out. Click on the link in the show notes and you'll get a free P&L and balance sheet check.
This is Contractor Sense with Ruth King.
Welcome to Contractor Sense. Here you discover ideas, tactics, news, and information that matters to your contracting business and you. I'm your host, Ruth King. This episode is sponsored by Financially Fit Business. Get the business tool that helps you grow profitably, build wealth, and significantly impact your life and the lives of your employees. Go to www.financiallyfit.business and get started today. Thank you for joining us. Here is how we will help your business and you. A.O. Smith is celebrating their 150th year anniversary. I asked David Chism, the Vice President of Marketing and Customer Experience, to talk about how A.O. Smith has helped their customers be more profitable for the past 150 years. David, welcome to Contractor Sense.
Thanks for having me. Excited to be here.
Oh, my pleasure. I don't know whether you know this, but I was up there with the PHCC training class, and I got to see the entire facility, and it was really phenomenal. So, I mean, you guys have done incredibly well over the past 150 years. So kudos to you.
Thank you so much. It's a team effort, and we have a wonderful history, and it's fun to celebrate this year, the 150th. We're having celebrations all over the globe, actually. So it's a fun time for us to be at A.O. Smith.
Yeah, I don't think our listeners really realize that you are global. It's not only what I saw in Tennessee.
Right. We have facilities all over the world. And yeah, we're U.S. based manufacturing. We've been here obviously 150 years, headquartered in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Rich history there.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's go back, 50 to 100 years. How did people get profitable back then? You probably have a better sense of history than I do. Did they even care about profitability back then like we do today?
Oh, certainly they did. I think, one of the things that's kind of inherent, kind of in the DNA of A.O. Smith is very engineering driven, and also very customer focused. So finding whatever the problems are of the day, how do we solve those problems? How do we solve them in the most efficient way? And then how do we bring scale to those solutions? That's kind of a recurring theme that you see in A.O. Smith's history. And it doesn't matter if we were making component parts for baby carriages,
yeah,
or
I remember that.
making bicycle frames, or, turn of the century automobile frames. It was always, what's the problem we're trying to solve? How do we do it in a smarter, more ingenious way, and then how do we do it at scale? And that scale is really what, to your question, what brings the profitability into play. So we're solving problems that exist, and solving them in a better way, and then where you really drive the economies of scale is how you drive profitability for a business. So I think core in our DNA as an organization is that we're going to drive profitable growth, but that profitable growth comes from understanding the customers, understanding the market, understanding what gaps are there, and then how do you solve that in a different way. That really is, if you can create value for your customer, that's where profitability comes into play.
Well, you really have two customers. You have the contractor customer, and you have the end user customer too. So you've got to do it twice.
We do, and we take kind of all of our value stream into account. Plumbing distributors, contractors, end users, each one has different needs, and we look at each one and figure out how do we solve those needs and do it in a way that makes them endeared to A.O. Smith, whether that be the products that we bring to market or the services in which we bring our products to market. All of those add value.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we had what was it, a year or maybe 2 years ago now, when the heat pump water heaters started coming in and they had to deal with gas. A lot of contractors had never installed one. It's always been electric. So you had some interesting training times, didn't you?
Well, that was part of, we're 150 years old, but it's not because we're not resting on our laurels. It's really, we continue to reinvent ourselves and find ways to add value in the market. And one of the ways here recently is just a shift in technologies. You've got heat pump technologies, you've got tankless technologies, you've got more energy efficient products coming out. So it's not just this standard product that's existed for 100 years. It's really evolving, and with that evolution comes new knowledge, new needs for training, new needs for around installation. How do you service the product? How do you troubleshoot the product? So we put a lot of time and effort and energy around training, our training studio, training facilities. So whether you want to be on site and hands-on and tearing product down, or if you'd rather do it from the comfort of your own home and watch videos online, or if you want to do kind of a virtual hybrid scenario, we've got options, kind of all the above. However you like to consume your information, we're gonna make sure that we meet you there and have the right information for you. But you're right, the shift in technology and the new technologies that are coming out really have just elevated the need for us to be on the forefront of training and how we put that information out there for our customers.
Yeah, I mean, if you go through the training facility outside of Nashville, you can see what the water heaters looked like, in the early 1920s and where they were today. And I'd like to be a fly on the wall 100 years from now to see where they all are, because I promise you, it won't be what they look like today.
No, that's the funny thing is that, a water heater oftentimes is one of those things that's just kind of, it's in the garage or it's in a utility closet. Nobody really thinks about it until you take a cold shower, and then it's number one on your list that day. But it might have been 10 years or 15 years since you actually, if you're a homeowner, that you actually dealt with this product. So things change. So how do you make sure that our customers are aware of the new technologies, they're aware of what options they have out there? And how are our contractor partners aware of these changes so that they can recommend the right product, how they can install the right product and service the right product?
Yeah.
So it all comes together. But yeah, things change, and particularly in our market, because of the buying cycle is so long for a lot of the end users. We got to make sure that we're keeping that top of mind.
Well, that really, you're right. The end user is not going to look at this for 10 years probably, unless some smart contractor, and if you're listening to this, you should be having a maintenance agreement where you look at the water heater every year, and as it gets older and older, remind them that, your water heater is experiencing its end of life. You don't want to wake up with a cold shower one morning.
That's right. And so this is a little bit of a sidebar, but one of the more interesting data points that I saw when I first joined A.O. Smith, I've been here 20 years, so that's a drop in the bucket of the 150. But when we first started doing research around understanding customers, one of the things that jumped out at me is that there actually is a pretty significant part of the industry that is proactively replacing their water heater. So they're replacing the water heater before their current one fails. And in that scenario, price is not number one on your list, and availability and urgency is not number one on your list, because you're actually planning for that to happen. So to your point, if our contractors are in the homes asking these questions, talking about these new technologies, talking about what upgrade options exist out there, it gives them a lot better opportunity to sell these new technologies instead of coming into a home where it's, the current one's leaking and it's urgent and they got to get a new one today. That conversation looks drastically different than the proactive replacement conversations do.
Yeah, well, or the customer, unfortunately, occasionally says, yes, thank you very much, I'll take it under consideration. And 6 months later, they have a cold shower and they go, crap, you told me.
That's right. You gained some street cred by having that conversation, though, right?
Absolutely. So
that's right.
Before we take a break, if somebody wants to find out more information about A.O. Smith and everything that you do, where do they go?
It's very easy. Hotwater.com.
Hotwater.com. That is easy.
Hotwater.com, and you can get all the latest and greatest information around the new products that we put out to market. You can get information around where products can be purchased, how you can purchase products, do all your research, do your training as a contractor. We have a university that's linked on that website where you can get all the content in the world around heat pump and tankless and do certification training online. So it's a rich resource for our customers.
Very good. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. We'll be right back.
Imagine you had total freedom. You didn't have to worry about money. You didn't have to be a slave to your business. The words, I can't, are eliminated from your vocabulary. What if you could do what you want to do, whenever you want to do it? A financially fit business could give you that freedom. How? By knowing what your financial statements are telling you and taking action based on what they say. You can do this in less than 10 minutes a month at an investment of less than taking your family out to dinner once a month. And if your financial statements are a mess, you can get help. Go to www.financiallyfit.business or click on the QR code below to get started today.
Welcome back. Thanks for listening to Contractor Sense. I'm speaking with David Chism, who is the Vice President of Marketing and Customer Experience for A.O. Smith. And we're kind of reminiscing about the 150 years that A.O. Smith has been around. And, you're right. I mean, you didn't start in the water heater business. You started, what was it? Baby buggies and car parts.
It was a blacksmithing shop originally. So it was component parts for baby carriages, basically, was the first foray.
Yeah. But, so we're now talking about what's going on, now, and it'll be interesting when you hit 200 years to look at the product line at that particular point. But you've been pretty good about keeping up with technology.
We really have. And, so we talk about A.O. Smith's history and how we consistently reinvent ourselves. One of the core values of our business is driving innovation, driving change through innovation, but innovation that brings value to our customers. And in the water heating space, one of the best ways to do that is bringing new energy efficient technologies to market. So whether you're talking about a gas water heater or electric water heaters, there's new innovation in both of those fuel types. So you've got condensing products on the gas side, you've got tankless products on the gas side. We just launched a new innovative tankless product that has integrated scale protection. So any contractors out there that know, particularly if you're in hard water applications, that really does damage to a tankless water heater unless you're doing annual maintenance.
It's not unless you have to do annual maintenance.
That's right. That's right. So we actually have a lot of knowledge in the water treatment space within A.O. Smith as well. So we're more than water heating. We're water heating and water treatment. So we put our heads together with our water treatment team and said, well, if we were to design a tankless water heater from the ground up, what would that look like? And so we designed a heat exchanger that's more robust and able to handle the rigors of hard water, and we integrated scale protection into the tankless water heater. So it literally is install it and have no annual maintenance, no need for descaling on the tankless, and it's the first of its kind.
Yeah.
So it's that kind of innovation that we try to solve real needs in the marketplace and bring products to market that are going to address it in a unique way.
I have to ask a question about that because I know there's some areas of the country. I mean, when I grew up in one where the water, you have to soften the water. I mean, does that work with no maintenance even when the water is really, really, really bad?
That's the intent. So we installed these in some of the roughest water conditions across the U.S., one of which is Roswell, New Mexico. So we have a water test facility in Roswell. And, untreated, these types of products will fail literally in a matter of weeks in those conditions. And so we put this integrated scale protection tankless unit. It's called the ADAPT series, by the way, if you're looking for it online. We put those and they just work. They just run. No need to do descaling, even in the hardest of water conditions.
That's really good. I mean, because I know you talk about New Mexico, but go up and down the East Coast of New Jersey and New York and up into the Catskill Mountains where I grew up, same thing. Absolutely the same thing.
Yeah.
So good. One less thing that they have to worry about. Well, the contractors can have one thing that they can talk about where their competition isn't.
That's right.
The way I look at it.
That's right.
So cool. All right. So from a profitability standpoint, I know we said we'd talk about that a lot, but we've kind of gotten into a lot of different things. I mean, do you help them with pricing, or do you just say, okay, here's the product, here's how long it takes to install it, you guys go price, you decide what profit you want. How does that work with you?
The way we kind of engage in that profitability conversation is more on the training side to say, be aware of the different technologies that are out there and what options you have. So, rough math, a heat pump water heater is going to be several times more expensive than a standard electric water heater on an upfront install. But the annual cost of operation for a heat pump is literally a fraction of what it is for standard electric. So just rough math, a standard electric water heater is going to be about $600 a year to operate. And so that's the homeowner is going to pay $600 for their utility bill. A heat pump water heater is $115 a year annual cost of operation. So that homeowner is saving $400, $500 a year in many cases by going to that more energy efficient product. So what we talk about in terms of profitability and driving margin for contractors is understanding how to sell these technologies, how to give their customers options in what water heater technologies, and kind of getting away from this like for like replacement mentality, because there's margin to be had in these newer technologies, the more energy efficient technologies. And it's not just a margin grab, it's actually a win for their homeowners and their customers, because they're going to see real tangible benefit in their utility bill month after month.
Yeah,
I talk about the heat pump water heater in my mind as the best kept secret in the water heater game. I mean, everybody should be considering these technologies.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. I mean, it's a game changer. And people, I think sometimes contractors are afraid to talk through that because they don't necessarily get it themselves. The best way I have found is to puppy dog them. You know what I mean by that?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Go put one in your home. Go put one in your tech's home and watch their water bill watch their cost of operation go down. Techs, when they see that and talk about that, the homeowner is going to believe the tech.
That's right.
They're not going to, hey, listen, I didn't believe it either, but we put one in my home and I watched my water bill go down, $50 a month, $100 a month, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And, what's the homeowner going to say? No.
Right. No, you're spot on. The more that we can have our channel partners give these technologies a try in their own homes and get that experience, not only just how it installed and how it operates, but what's the benefit for the savings. And then, they become that much better at telling the story to their customers.
Yeah, absolutely. Because it's not like you should do this. And it's more like, okay, I did it because I didn't believe it either. And I was amazed at the results. I mean, that basically is something that homeowner is going to look at as being really credible. I had one a tech, a long time ago, but what he used to do is carry around his utility bills before and after. And
that's fantastic.
So at least the customer didn't have to even listen to him. He says, here's my utilities before, here's my utility bills now. And I mean, that's it. It's done. When can I get one?
That's fantastic.
So anyway, final thoughts.
I would say, the 150th for us at A.O. Smith, it's a time for us to reflect on what got us here. And I would like to say thank you to all of your listeners and all of our customers out there for enabling us to make it to 150 years, because we can make the best products in the market and bring solutions to market. But if we don't have customers that are supporting us along that journey, then we wouldn't be able to get there. So thank you to the customers that are loyal to A.O. Smith and have allowed us to make it to 150 years. We appreciate it.
Okay. And the website one more time, please.
www.hotwater.com.
David, thanks so much for being with us.
Thanks so much. Appreciate it.
And thanks to all of you for joining us. Choose one thing that you discovered and implement it in your business. These ideas, tactics, and strategies help you make more money, have more free time, and give back. If you like today's program, spread the word. Please review this podcast on any device you're listening to it on. Help a fellow contractor make more money, too. For comments or questions, call me at 770-729-0258 or email Ruth King at hvacchannel.tv. Thanks for listening. Have a great and profitable day.